the show, Dada.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
What's going on? What's going on? What up?
Assuming
What
we can
up?
still call you that. We may or may not be able to still call you that. What date is today? What's the day? 22nd?
Oh, it's 22nd. 7/22/22.
7/22/22. I believe as of today, we can still call you ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most organic conversation on the internet. Welcome to Up to It, Down to It. We about to have a good time today, man. Let's get right into it, man, with these introductions. Let's go right over here to my left, your right, the man, the myth, the legend, the king. LB,
What's going
welcome
on,
back,
everybody?
baby.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, King Rich. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope y'all are fine like wine, because I am,
Hey-oh.
taking my communion because I got a word for you today. And this one was right on time. And this one came in through my text message this morning, and it's hashtag show up. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, whenever you show up, be sure to make it better. Make the world you live in a better place today. All right. So, I mean, it spoke to me. That's like, we may not feel like it all the time. And it's not to say that you have to do it all the time, because you're more than allowed to, feel the way you feel, or, if you need to mourn, all of that. But what this spoke to me was, this is the world that I'm in. So I got to make it a better place. Whenever I show up to work, I got to make it better. I got to leave it better than how I came. Whenever, I go out somewhere, I'm making sure that I do what I can. And that's what it's saying to me. It's saying that I need to do what I can, to make it a better place, leave it better than, than how I came into it. So y'all make y'all world a better place, man. Go out there and be great.
Make it a better place for you and for me. All that, yeah.
Shout out to Michael Jackson.
No, man, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good to have you back. I see you sipping on the wine. What you got there, man? That looks a little different.
If y'all have not ever had chocolate wine, y'all need to go ahead and get you some chocolate wine. This is actually a chocolate and raspberry infused wine. This is a blend right here. Go get your bottle, because this is banging. All right, go and get your bottle because it's banging. If you like wine, if you like chocolate, and if you like raspberries, that's great. They have different flavors.
All of those are chocolate.
Say it again.
All of those are aphrodisiacs.
Yeah,
Facts.
do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Get you some.
Who's the maker?
Why not put it all together?
Hey, who makes that?
Oh, this one is Choco Vine. So I got this from they should have it in most liquor stores. But I get this one is Coco Vine. Yes, sir.
Coco Vine. Okay.
Vine. Choco Vine.
Choco Vine. Coco Vine.
Choco. Yeah, there's an H in there. Huh?
Write it down.
Technically, there's an H in there.
Just write it down.
Depends on what language, right?
Right. Depending on where you're reading it from. It's all good, man. That looks amazing. Looking forward to having you, man. We're going to have a good time tonight. With that being said, down bottom, my man, also unbelievable. This dude is doing everything everywhere. The immovable force. Kev, talk to us, baby boy.
What it do, everybody? Great to be here with you all this evening. Rich, I appreciate the quote because it's right on par with me, and because we're the most organic conversation on the internet, or on Al Gore's internet, or Beyonce's internet, I keep it a stack with y'all. I literally don't feel like being here. My mother's birthday is next week, and it's actually next Friday, which, we go live on Friday. So like I'm already feeling it because she's no longer with us. So I just been having a rough time. My therapist is leaving the practice, so I got to find a new therapist. My primary care physician is leaving the practice, so I got to find a new primary care physician. I'm just having a rough time, but I'm here, just trying to make it through the day. I know, my son needs me to be the best version of me that I can be, so I'm just doing everything I can to hang in there. So y'all hang in there with me. It's a captain night. Captain ain't never failed me. It's my go-to. So my mixed drink is Captain Rum, Captain Morgan Spiced Rum, and Coke, Captain and Coke. And shout out to Captain Morgan Private Stock because it's super smooth. That's the way to get through it. But this is summertime, so I got the wine for you. I've been on the Eastern Shore this week. Took my homie out to Cambridge. But one of my favorite wineries to go to is come on, Light. Don't do the. There we go. Do the thing I tell you to do. One of my favorite wineries to go to is Leighton's Chance Winery, which is in Vienna on the Eastern Shore. Maybe like 15-20 minutes outside of Cambridge and maybe about 40 minutes before Ocean City. But they have Joe's Cool White, which Joe Leighton is one of the owners of lineage. But the Cool White is an excellent summer wine. It's a sweet wine, not like super sweet in the line, and like if we're thinking Moscato, but it's sweet enough. Got excellent flavor to it. I love the Joe's Cool White. I love Joe's Cool Red. And then for my like drinkers, they got Joe's Cool Red Turbo, which they only sell it by the bottle, not by the glass if you're at the winery, because again, it's turbocharged, so it's extra turned up. But y'all, get your drink on with me. I definitely need y'all to put one in the air for me. And we're here to have a good time. So glad to be here.
Man, let's have a good time, man. Give it up for our boy, man. We love to hear it, man. We got some prayers for you already in the comments. Thank y'all so much. Y'all in the comments, get ready to sound off, man, because that really fuels us. And as he asked for, man, we got to hook Kev up, man. Kev has been giving us some good commentary and some great points and perspective, man. So let's, keep that energy up for him. That being said, y'all know me.
The great and terrible.
The great and terrible trade. It all depends on how you look at it. That's me. What's going on, everybody out there, man? Thank y'all for joining us on the Friday night, bringing in the weekend with us. You guys are dope. I'm not as eloquent as Richard over here, man. The quotes. There we go. The quotes and the taking us to church and all that. So I'm gonna just say. You great leading us in the sermon and all that, man. So I'm gonna just say, let's just get ready to go up to it with this first one. You know what I'm saying? But what y'all think?
We definitely
Everybody, get your first drink in the air. If you haven't already, get your first drink ready. Whether it's water, Canada Dry, chocolate wine.
Drink something.
Drink something, man. We just gonna do one quick up to it, and we're gonna go straight into it. Up to it one good time, everybody. Let's do
it. Before we go into it, because I knew I was forgetting something.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, we don't play about our ladies. So shout out to the WNBA. Tonight, Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird are taking on each other for the last time because both of them will be hanging it up after this season. And Diana Taurasi is the GOAT of women's basketball. Like, there is no denying it. They came into UConn together, which UConn's women's basketball is just unlike any other program we've ever seen in terms of women's basketball and just success. And I mean, really, it bests some men's programs, a ton of men's programs with the success that Gino REM has had there. See them, they've been teammates. They've gone head to head. They've got Olympic gold together. Sue Bird leads that matchup 25-20 in the 45 times that they played. So even if Diana Taurasi walks away with the win tonight, she still can't catch up. But just two legends in the game, you love to see it. And of course, they're going to go out with class and grace as every matchup they've ever had. So shout out to them. Shout out to the WNBA.
Absolutely, man. Big shout out to the WNBA. Man.
Absolutely.
And listen, and there was some drama. I wish I remembered to cue up the video, but there was some drama in the WNBA in the last week, I think, right?
Yeah.
And got a little chippy on the court.
Oh yeah, been trying to tell people, like, just because you ain't paying attention to it, don't mean it's not happening. WNBA, They got on-court drama just like the NBA. They got off-the-court drama. They got internal drama, with teams and contracts and ownership and leadership. The head coaches, like it's legitimate beef. It's in a women's, it's in a women's sport. So
it's just in women's sports. That's all.
But it's real though. It's real though.
Very entertaining, man. Very good stuff.
Yeah. Since we mentioned women's sports, I'm gonna just throw it out there because I've actually been keeping an eye on women's flag football. Man, they balling.
They out here
balling. I've been seeing some clips popping up. I'm like, whoa, because I'm a football. Kev's basketball. I'm football. But shout out to all our female football players, whether it's flag tag or whatever it is. Shout out to you. They balling.
Getting it in. Y'all getting it in, man. We love to see it. I'm a fan of all sports, man. Football, basketball. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of people doing their thing and winning at the highest level, competing at the highest level. I like to see good competition. I like to see good competition. I like to see people execute at their craft. And speaking of executing at their craft, I got a lighthearted topic for y'all. Right? I know we just took a shot, but I got a lighthearted topic. All right. I know we talked about this, but those of y'all out here with kids, y'all need to watch Gracie's Corner. Every one of you needs to get on Gracie's Corner. Stop playing these games.
Get into it, man. Get into it. Ken mentioned it before. He's trying to be the best, version of himself for his son. I'm trying to do the same. But listen, when it comes to like finding programs, things for your child to watch and learn, man, Gracie's Corner is listen, it's so good. I was getting into it.
That's what I'm saying.
If y'all haven't checked it out, right? They're on different social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I don't even got to name them because you already know what it is. And boom, that's what I was getting ready to say. Yo, cue up one of these songs, man. This is one of my favorites right here.
Listen, y'all need to go. This clip is directly from YouTube, okay? You want to have some fun teaching your kids how to do stuff like read and write and math, that kind of stuff. Listen, I'm going to just play it. Y'all ain't about to, y'all tell me in the comments, y'all tell me if this bump as hard as y'all think it does.
Let's learn the sounds of the letters. This is the phonics song.
Whoa.
Got us reading all day long. This is the phonics song.
Gotta train it up.
Phonics song. What sound does that letter make? Tell me. What sound does that letter make? Break it down, sound it out. Yeah, you heard.
Oh.
Put the sounds together, now we're reading words. A said
Pause. Before we get too deep into it, because we about to mess around and take you through this whole alphabet.
Hey, man, listen, I'm just saying, my son had me 2 years old, he got on the couch, boy, he was jamming to the joint. Dad. Want me to get on the couch too, boy. I was like, bump it, let's go, because he don't hit me. Boy, we was partying, man. They got some other songs too. They got reggae. They got different. They're fun. They're creative. These are engaging songs, man.
It's cultural, man.
It's cultural learning, man. Yeah. I mean, they're different genres. No, it's creative. It's genius.
Yeah. It's very, very well done. It's catchy for literally all ages. Like, my wife and I were watching it not long ago too, and I think that was the one. You know what? I think it was the row your boat one. Hold on, let me see if I can find that one real quick. Yeah, this was the one. This is the one I heard, and I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Why does this bump so hard? So this is one of my favorite ones. This and the money one. We're gonna get to that one too.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Hey.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Hey.
Hey.
What?
Baby row the boat, baby row the boat, ayy. Baby row the boat, baby row the boat, ayy. Mommy row the boat, mommy row the boat, ayy. Mommy row the boat, mommy row the boat, ayy. Daddy row the boat, daddy row the boat, ayy. Daddy row the boat, daddy row the boat, ayy. Granny row the boat, granny row the boat.
Get it, Granny.
Granny row the boat,
Hey,
granny row the boat. Grandpa row the boat, grandpa row the boat, ayy. Grandpa row the boat, grandpa row the boat, ayy. Now come on, clap, 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 clap with me. Now come on, clap, 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 clap with me. Now come on, clap, 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 clap with me. And row the boat, baby row the boat.
All right. That's enough. That's enough of that. My goodness, that's gonna mess around. We gonna mess around and be bumping too hard for too long to doggone Gracie's Corner.
Oh,
Set
man.
it to the side for homecoming.
Yeah, clearly, right?
Hey, yeah. Who's the DJ for homecoming this year?
We're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna tell them you need to cue up Gracie's Corner.
I need you to
Right
cue
after
up
the
Gracie's
band take, right after the band take, and it's all Gracie's Corner.
Nah, straight up. Because that'll give us time to get drunk while the kids are, dancing and all that good. That's actually a genius idea. I hope somebody, y'all in the comment. Yeah. Listen.
Hey.
Trying to tell you something.
Get in on it.
Get down on it. I got one more. And if you already ain't, all in on Gracie's Corner, you gonna be after this one. I got one more because really in America, probably the most fundamental skill you need to learn is how to damn count money. Right?
Man,
how to count money probably more than anything else. So
even if the dollar is trash.
Even if the dollar is trash, I think we, yen and ruble. How are those doing? I don't know. In comparison, no. Okay, all right. Considering some of our stuff went to China. Okay, all right. Anyway. Learn something about money.
Hey, let's learn about money. Count it up. Let's count all the money. Count it up. Tell me, how much is a penny worth? 1 cent. How much is a nickel worth? 5 cents. How much is a dime worth? 10 cents. How about a quarter? 25 cents. How much is a penny worth? 1 cent. How much is a nickel worth? 5 cents. How much is a dime worth? 10 cents. How about a quarter? 25 cents. Let's count all the money. Count all the money. Count all the money. Count it up. Count all the money. Count all the money. Count all the money. Count it up. How many?
All right. Gracie's Corner, y'all. Gracie's Corner.
Get into it.
I'm gonna add that one.
Get into it. Let's get into it.
Get into it, man. Nah, real talk though. That honestly, and if you play it over a system like it's great.
That's a strip club anthem right there.
I'm trying to count all the money. Count all the money.
Yeah. They're gonna have to stop before the cents part because ain't no strippers trying to have loose change thrown at them. But that's a conversation.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something, man? You get to a strip club and like, how about a quarter?
The fiend will take whatever you got. So
a whole new meaning to make it rain.
You make it hail.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah, I don't think the strippers like hail. I think they prefer rain.
I think they definitely want the latter rain. Okay.
Hail. That part, but nah, that joint is definitely fire, man. Check it out, Gracie's Corner, man. Have some fun. Check it. Let your kids look at it. They are gonna love it. Yeah, fun stuff, man. What can I say? All right, on to the next thing. So, I got to shout out Q real quick. He's had to go take care of some personal business again, but he actually is the one that brought us to our feature topic of the evening. The first thing that you saw when you clicked on the link. Kim Burrell. Kev, You know a little bit about Kim Burrell, right?
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. Tell me a little bit about Kim Burrell without the spoiler.
I mean, so Kim Burrell, of course, was more or less discovered by Kurt Franklin. Her like startup video was just like one of those. It was one of those gospel like shows, not like Sunday's Best because that came after the fact, but it's like one of them like if you fell asleep to like BET Uncut and woke up to like BET Sunday gospel stuff, like that's where you found Kim Burrell. Kim Burrell has a timbre of voice, like her runs, she can tap into like the like tones that are in between tones. Her ear for music is absolutely incredible. She's a singer, a organist, a pianist, a minister. Like Kim Burrell just does it all, and her voice is absolutely fantastic, and we respect her for it. But if I'm not mistaken, she's either like Kojic or Church of Christ, which they bring it to your front door like nobody's business, and that's how we found ourselves here.
And there we have it, man. And she is very accomplished. Can you give us a couple of songs she's known for? Some of her bigger titles.
Oh man, Be Grateful is actually the song that she like got discovered on. So she did it with one of those like mass choirs, but like she like did a sample of it during the interview with Kurt Franklin. And literally her first run floored Kurt. And like Kirk is just that dude, porn aside, like Kirk is that guy. And so she was like 3 words, God has not, and then it was a run. And he was just like, I've heard all I need to hear. And that was kind of the discovery of Kim Burrell. So Be Grateful as a cover was one of her most, famous songs, but she was a judge on Sunday's Best. She's, like well-traveled. She just got stuff. And her, you kind of hate it or love it because her ear is so out of this world. Her like music really isn't accessible to the average person. Like you gotta love the jazzy, bluesy, gospel-y, sound to get into it. But it's not just something that your average person can just listen to and sing. It's not happening that way.
So she's immensely talented.
Absolutely.
You ain't just gonna walk up in somebody's random church necessarily and hear a sound like that. And she is incredibly accomplished. So with that said, she is in the news and we are about to talk about it. So with that said, one more time, get your glasses ready, get your stuff poured. And big shout out to my man's Colin. I talked with him earlier today, man. He said he wanted us to take a shot for him. So this is that shot. As we introduce our first feature topic of the evening, we're going to talk about Kim Burrell. Let's get into it. So basically what happened here was this clip was ripped from, I guess, whatever. It sounded to me like it was kind of like an introduction or an opening or what have you. What we're going to do first, we're going to play the clip and then we're going to kind of break it down because there were a lot of opinions on this 2-minute clip. So we'll play it first and then we'll get into it.
You got to choose up, find you some value. Sometimes before we get friends, we have to do an interview. How long have you been broke? How many times have you changed your name on your light bill? How many of your bills in your little cousin's name? You live in a house, you understand. And it's not about status or material things. It's just about choices. Life is different now. And, we are at church. Thank God we're here. Those of us who walk in by faith without a mask and no vaccine. And so we honor the Lord. God is good.
First of all, I'm one of those people with no mask and no vaccine. Say something. I dare you. Say something.
It's not the topic we're on right now. So
All right.
Respect all of the men of God here and respect you. Can y'all clap so I don't feel strange right about now? Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet each other when y'all invite me to come to your church. I'm not as expensive as I seem. And so, I don't know. Maybe you got a little left over from your PPP loan.
Not from your PPP loan.
Prayer, praise, and power. You understand? Amen. Isn't the Lord great? Amen. Amen. And so, I like coming here because the ground is already tilled with great personality like Dr. Karn. Because one thing I love about him, he's deep in the word, but he knows how to have great humanity. And most don't understand his personality because he is truth personified. And he tells the type of truth that makes most uncomfortable. Because who likes to be told you're just ugly?
Wow.
No one likes to be told.
Yeah.
Especially when they have realized it. All right. Most don't get offended until they know the bad thing about themselves. And then somebody else recognizes and says, oh, I saw the ugly too. I just wanted to let you know. So anyway, y'all get that later. God is great. All of you are beautiful. Yep. I haven't chosen anyone to be ugly yet. God is good. God is great. You all look great. Most of you have on hats covering most of that anyway. Here's to you.
Oh.
I have a great personality. I'm going to sing. Daily I shall.
Baby, listen.
Woo. Wow. Wow.
Baby, listen.
Y'all know how the last
that was hilarious.
You might need 2 shots for this one. You might need 2 shots.
You might need 2 shots for this one. Wow. Baby,
all right.
Listen.
Comments, get ready. Get ready.
Rich.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yo. Listen. That was comedy to me. That was comedy. I mean, she was bringing, in my opinion, that sounded like some comedy mixed with some truth, mixed with, that's how she, perceives things. And, the first part of it when she was talking about, choosing your friends, I think that's true. You definitely need to be mindful about choosing your friends, being mindful, being wise about choosing your friends, who you choose to spend your time with. I mean, because if you take a look at the 5 people that you hang around the most, I mean, that's who you be like. So
that's
and it depends on where you're trying to go. If you're trying to go a certain place, and you're not getting there, we'll take a look around who you surrounding yourself with. So it's all about choice. I know, I think she said choose up or something like that, but it's all about choice. It's all about, she said it herself. It's not about status and material things. It's all about choice at the end of the day. So, but the whole, the ugly thing, I mean, she could have been using a play on words. I mean, because some people are beautiful on the outside, but ugly on the inside. So, she was, I wasn't offended. So listen, if somebody felt offended, maybe they already feeling some type of way. Maybe they harboring some things. I don't know. What you think, Kev? Who's going next?
I teach under I got mantras for my classroom, and I mean they're developed over time. So when I taught middle school, like I had to, that was my first, like my intro into teaching, and then like transitioned into high school. So in middle school, we developed the mantra, confidence has no competition. And that came after Dr. Carter's quote, like music is ministry, has to go beyond a page, it must inspire. So like we were like transitioning. So we went from the music is ministry into confidence has no competition. And now where I find myself teaching my high school kids is if it doesn't apply, don't take offense, which they, went Dr. Seuss on me and was like, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. And I was like, I could rock with that. And so like my thing, like that's the truth all day, every day. Like you're not offended unless it rubs you wrong. Like you're not tripping off of it unless it applies to you. And so, this is one of those cases like, well, how long have you been broke? I ain't broke, so I'm not offended by that because I'm not broke. So like, we just gotta like, again, you gotta like really tap into the things that trigger you and ask yourself, why do I feel some kind of way about this? Probably because you either been in that situation or you are in that situation or you're headed into that situation. And so much like you said, it's all jokes. Like the best preachers, pastors, guest speakers that I've heard, open up with things that make you comfortable, which is comedy. They're going to let you see a lighthearted side of them, and then they're going to get into the meat and bones of their message. So like, I want to see the comical side of you. I want to hear some jokes. I want to laugh with you, that kind of thing. So again, if it don't apply to me, I'm not offended by it. But I appreciate it because it's humorous, it's comical, it's lighthearted, and then we can get into the gospel truth. So yeah, if y'all offended, it's you.
It's probably you. Okay, so these are some of the offenses that I saw, right? One of the biggest ones was, this is why I don't go to church, because of the shadiness, I suppose, of the joke and the, we say the comedic factor, the comedic opening and stuff like that. People are using this narrative to justify their reasoning for not going to church. I saw it a few times from a good number of people. All right, Kev, go in, bro. I'm ready for you.
But your friend's shady. Like
that part.
But your best friend is shady. And your girlfriends are shady, and your boyfriend's shady, and your baby father's shady. Like the people you like, literally friendships.
You're shady.
Like you're shady.
You're shady.
Like, friendships are developed on like hatred for other people. So like, why are we mad at somebody in the pulpit when literally the people? And again, I've been one of them people. I am one of those people. We gossip in church, we gossip out of church. Like y'all gossip at brunch, y'all gossip at the workplace, you gossip at the water cooler. I've been sitting at the playground with my son and heard parents talk trash about other people for not, not keeping their kids close enough, letting their kids be too far, not, for what they have on, what they don't have on, for putting sunscreen on them, for not putting, like there's always gonna be something wrong. So to say that, well, this is why I don't go to church, it's happening outside the church. Like, and that, I know it's another conversation in and of itself, but like, these are excuses, which we know those are tools of the weak and incompetent, builds upon monuments of nothingness. But like the church, like your relationship to God is not predicated on your ability to sit in a building. So like, you're going to find these things wherever you go. You're nitpicking when you say, oh, this is why I don't go, because your life is literally surrounded by people who do these things. Like you have sex with someone who pillow talks with you about some stuff that's going on with some things that's happening. That's gossip. That's trash talk. That's all the same. So
it's true.
So we're gonna like exile ourselves from the church because of the things we do in our secular lives anyway.
That doesn't even make any sense.
At all.
It straight up doesn't make any sense. Like my relationship with God, because I have a problem with what some human said.
That part. Now,
you
see that face Kev is making right
control over my life.
That face Kev is making, that's the universal, like, what? That's exactly how I feel about that. How much sense does that make?
You have now given Kim Burrell control over your life.
And she probably don't even go to that church. She was probably singing. Obviously, she said she made a joke about her not being so expensive. Yeah, she's obviously not. She don't even go to that church. You gonna let what somebody said in jest in the beginning of their opening act at a church that they don't even go to be the reason?
What we talking about?
What we talking about?
I mean, listen, I understand that people see people and pass judgments, even though we're not supposed to judge and all of that kind of stuff, that part. But I know people do that. But come on. You can't even reasonably justify that. Like you said, Kev, everybody involved in your life does something that they got no business doing. Everybody has sinned. We've all sinned. That's just a weak justification for why you don't go to church in the first place, right? It's just period. Chances are, if you don't go to church, it's either because you're not able to, or you made some excuse up, and you put your faith in people and not in God. Because in the end, none of these people are the standard. Not Creflo Dollar, not Kim Burrell, not T.D. Jakes, not Joel Osteen, not me, not Kev, not Rich. None of us are the standard. Christ is the standard. So how foolish do you look? Seriously, saying that person and what she said, that shade she threw, those mean tweets, those mean tweets from the pulpit are the reason.
Their feelings were hurt.
Stop it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Where's my sad music sound effect? Yeah, there we go. Bum.
We can move on from this. They just need a second to go feel better, and
they need somebody to be angry at.
Seriously, and it's easy to blame the church because here's another point too, and Maurice, thank you for this in the comments here. That's not new in the church. If you stand next to the church sister gossiping, back to your point, Kev, they are flaming people. They are going in on people.
Why so and so come in with that hat on? Why is her skirt so short? Why is why she's showing so much cleavage? It's
always something.
And you know what it reminds me of, like those and I hate to say it, it's them girls, where their man be out sleeping with another woman, but they would rather yell at their girlfriend who tells them about their man sleeping with another woman than to actually address their man sleeping with another woman. Like, you're creating an issue in a place where the issue is not, because you don't get to the heart of the issue. Like that, we gotta come on, man. Cut it out.
It's easier to blame other people for your problems than it is to take accountability.
Come on, man.
Sometimes I think they lash out too because they already know their situation. It's almost like, it's like I already know I'm broke, so why you got to say it?
Hit dogs holler. Hit dogs holler. The funny thing is, I'm gonna go back to the video real quick because I shout out to the cameraman when she said some of y'all wearing hats anyway to cover up, the ugly. Then the video immediately cut to, here we go, I got it. The video immediately cut to a woman wearing a hat. What? That's what?
I have a great personality.
I went back.
But she, wildly enough, she ain't ugly.
I have a great.
And she's not ugly.
But that might not be how she sees herself, right? Yeah. So that's a whole other topic.
I have a great person.
That's a whole other topic right there.
Yeah, because she wasn't even ugly.
She's not ugly at all, actually. She's church hot.
Ah, man.
She's church hot. Y'all stop acting like y'all ain't seen nobody in the church that's church hot. If ain't nobody in church been hot, then I got a serious question. And that is, where did all these little church people come from if ain't nobody in the church been hot?
If ain't nobody.
I'm just saying.
Nobody greater.
Dun, 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 dun. If you don't know what we just did, you're a heathen. You need to go to church. No,
you're a heathen. You are a heathen.
All right. That's dead, man. It's a wrap for that one. It's a wrap for that one. All right. Next up on the agenda. Let's go with this one. TD Jakes. Let's stay at church.
Staying in the okay.
to stay at church for a minute, right? Because I don't like hearing people. My bad. I don't like hearing people speak out.
Like the Daily Double on Jeopardy.
Hey man, it be like that sometimes. You never know. You
Okay.
never know. But I don't. I see people come against the church often, right? And yes, I understand that there are people who do stuff in church that are no good, right? And put a blot on things and stuff like that. But again, let me just be very, 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 very clear. If you stop going to church because of people, then your faith was in the wrong place in the first place. Okay? I have to drive that point home. I feel like something I feel inside me is telling me I need to drive that point home. That if you stop going to church because of people, then your faith is in the wrong place. All right. TD Jakes. You know what? We're going to pull this on up right here. This says.
Hold on. I think it's cut off. There it is.
There we go. We are raising our women to be men.
I mean,
whoa. Y'all ready for this one? Y'all got your shots ready? Let me pour mine.
Pour me a cup, yeah. Pour me a cup, cause I sure need one. That's a gospel. That's a go-go classic.
I thought you was about to say it was a gospel classic. I was going to say.
It was. I mean, listen, go-go is gospel. So but another conversation for another day.
And we're going to get to that conversation soon because this is the most organic conversation on the internet. All right, y'all got your glasses ready? Let's do it, man. Raising women to be men. Let's go. Okay, so TD Jakes affirms that we are raising our women to be men, and I think we should listen to this and hear the whole context. I'll be honest, I haven't heard the entire thing yet, so this 1 minute, it's all going to be fairly new to me, so y'all go get some real reactions. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now. Because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families.
You ain't got no sound, but I felt it though.
Damn. All right, here we go. I'm back.
Yeah. Wow.
Was there a lie? Y'all knew what I was saying.
That's what I said.
Did he lie though? Y'all knew I was saying that. Y'all knew I was saying that.
Oh man.
Comments.
Femininity.
Did he lie? Was there a lie? I did not detect a single lie in what he just said.
So I think
not a single one.
Yeah, and it legitimately starts with all of the adjectives that he used. And I will say, particularly with Black women, they have in the last 18 months to 2 years have been like taking a stance that I can wholeheartedly agree with. And they're like, we don't like the adjective strong. And for so long, we've referred to women as like strong Black women, and that's been a compliment. They not subscribing to that anymore. Like Black women want to live a soft life. They want to be soft. They don't want to be considered strong because like the tie to a strong Black woman has pretty much been a single mother who raises the kids who still make sure that they whatever, like it's a compliment, but it's attached to a negative stereotype. And so I had to catch myself, because strong was a compliment that I found myself giving to women, but it's not something that they want. Like, women don't want to have to be strong.
I'm sorry. Wait, because I'm trying to wrap my head around that. You mean to tell me that if you like, there are sects of black SECTS of black women who would be offended by being called strong black women?
I don't know if offended is the right word, but it's by their standard, which I think is logical. It's
based on the kind of how the connotation is behind it.
Because the context of strong means I can put you through anything and you're still going to be all right. I can leave you by yourself and you're still going to make it. I can talk to you any kind of way and you're still going to show up. Like, that's why I said it's a negative connotation attached to a compliment. So like, women don't want to subscribe to being strong, because that means you can put me through anything. Not, you can just acknowledge that I am the best person to be in this situation.
So we're just changing the definitions of things all willy-nilly. Is that what we're doing? We just a little bit. Like, really? Is it like that's what we do? We just kind of just change it up. And, all right, ladies in the comments, y'all let me know. Is being called strong linked to something? Because now I don't know. Now I don't know. For that matter, so what even is a woman in the first place?
No, but I'm saying, so my question is, like, if you've ever referred to a woman as strong, when did you say that to her? Like, because for me, like, as I think about it, I've referred to women as strong in like their worst situations. Like, you're so strong for still managing to take care of your kids, even though your baby father doesn't do anything for you. You're so strong for still being able to go to school while managing, like, kids while you don't have any help. Like, you're so strong for still being able to show up at board meetings, even though people don't appreciate you because you're the only woman in this room full of men. Like, that's typically how I've referred to the strength of women. So like, and it's not just me, So like, if you're really asking yourself, when do I refer to a woman as strong? Chances are you're going to find it tied to something that they shouldn't have to deal with in the first place.
Question: when do you refer to anybody as strong when they're not in a situation they shouldn't have to deal with in the first place?
I think men's strength is tied to doing the shit that we're supposed to do.
I'm sorry. So if a single mom is taking care of her kids because dad's not around, is that not what she's supposed to do?
It is. I'm saying she shouldn't only be strong because of that. Like, which is where they tend to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
so what should they be strong as?
That shouldn't be the predicament that she's in.
I mean, maybe it shouldn't. I mean, she might. Most people put themselves in whatever predicament they're in. So most people are in the predicament they're in based on the results of their actions. Most, not all, but most.
If we're referring to like how people raise kids, I don't think most women put themselves in that scenario. I think men like are saying, I'm not taking care of that kid because I'm not with you. Like I'm on both sides. I am the father who shows up no matter what because I'm not with the mother, but I am also the son who has no relationship with his father because he chose to walk away. So like I've seen it all. And I'm privy to women who, no matter what they did, the father wanted nothing to do with their child. Not even like send some money for their birthday. I'm not even asking for much, but they want to see you show up for their birthday, show up for Christmas, and it's not within the realm. So like, I'm speaking from my experience. I don't see women as doing what they have to do, and that's what makes them strong. Granted, they're doing it, so there's a strength in that, but like strong is still a negative connotation because they're having to assume a role that takes away from their softness.
Go ahead, LB.
Nah, I mean, he's speaking from, his experience and his point of view. And I'm just wondering if he's talking about, just the social climate that we're in. And, because so, I'm on the married side, and I see my wife as being strong because she's a stay-at-home mom and she still manages to take care of the house, the kids, myself. And even though I help out, where I can, I see her strength in, doing what she needs to do. Even now, she's picked, she's got her tinker garden, and she even does a little part-time work, at her law firm now, and she's strong even in that. So even though she doesn't, have to go back to work or anything like that, but I still see the strength in her. So I'm trying to understand, where this negativity, why is it negative, to be strong to women? Why do you feel like because they have to do it that it's negative to be strong in doing this extra, things that they're doing?
You done lost your sound again, Trey.
I just said good question. I was expecting you to jump in.
Is it you is it you that think it's negative, or is it, are you saying that society right now thinks like what you've been hearing, what you've been seeing?
Yeah, if you and of course it's like that's where we see most things, social media. So like the scope right now is that women, particularly Black women, don't want to be viewed as strong because strong is a reference to I can take whatever you dish and still be okay. So which is associated with a negative thing. Like I can take you speaking to me any kind of way and I'm still going to like show up and do my job. I can take, my opinion not being included in a boardroom because I'm the only woman here, and I still, like contribute to the success of the company. I can like have you not pay child support, not spend time with your kids, but make sure that the kids are okay. Like it's typically that. And that's what I'm seeing in the overarching scope of social media, that like Black women don't want to be viewed as strong because it takes away from their femininity.
Okay, so let me say what I think I'm hearing, and I'm gonna ask a question. Of course, you may or may not have the answer because
I'm not a Black woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I feel like I'm hearing though is that they're tired of playing this role that they wanted in the first place, but now they're changing their mind. It sounds
Funny
like
thing about that,
they're tired of having to do certain things, right? And this is what it sounds like I'm hearing. It sounds like they're tired of taking the brunt of it all, right? And it sounds like they want to take a step back and have some type of covering and have some type of fallback, some type of something else there, right? That is the strength. Not to say that they are not strong, but
right? Because if you say they're not strong, now you're being misogynistic.
I hear what y'all are saying. I just would disagree. I don't, and again, I'm talking about what I'm seeing now. I don't think like if it's not saying you're not strong, it's not referring to them as strong. So like you're not literally hear what I'm saying. You're not saying the opposite to be condescending. You're just not using this term to not highlight the bullshit that they've had to deal with. And I think that's it. Like just because you say one thing, to say the exact opposite doesn't mean it's relative to the thing we're speaking about. So to say, oh, you're not strong, like that's not what they're going for. Like naturally, everybody has a strength to them. So it's not a problem with recognizing that there is a strength in them. But to say you're a strong woman, it typically, which we know how stereotypes and you know what I'm saying, things go, like typically when you say, oh, you're a strong woman, it's relative to some type of hardship that they've had to overcome in order to be in the place that they're in.
But that's silly because you wouldn't know someone's strength without there being resistance. For example, I don't know how strong you are until I see you lift something that makes me go, oh shit, that guy's pretty strong. He can lift that whole couch by himself. You know what I'm saying? But if you pick up like, you know, this laptop, I'm not gonna say, man, I still appreciate that guy for how strong he was picking up this thing that weighs nothing. You know what I'm saying? There has to be resistance in order for there to be.
So if I'm understanding correctly, and I'm hearing you. Let me see if I'm hearing.
I am hearing you too.
Let me see if I'm hearing you. Right. They don't want to be celebrated for the negative stuff they went through. That's what it sounds like.
That's pretty much it. And
why?
But Trey, let me come back to you, Rich. Trey, to your point though, and again, we're shooting for being canceled. So we're talking about
most organic conversation.
We're talking about men and women. So if you look at me as a man, would you not assume that I'm strong because I'm a man? Stronger than a woman, at least.
Physically, I would, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, but even not beyond the physical, would you not assume that because I'm a man, that I'm okay to head a household? Would you not assume that I'm like, I think there are some presumptions that go with man.
Are we talking about
society?
Like, I'm about to say, I wouldn't assume that you are that. I would assume. I wouldn't assume. I honestly, especially in today's society, the richest point, I wouldn't assume anything. But
for us, shooting for cancellation, understanding what a man should be, would you not assume, seeing me as a man, that I am the head of my household, that I am the carrier of the burden, that I am the one who makes the tough decisions, and is that the assumption?
Yeah, I would assume that you are.
So what I'm saying is, a woman in her true femininity and genuine softness and self doesn't want to be highlighted for being what a man is supposed to be. And again, that's not today's society, because we got 78 genders. But like traditional man and woman role says, woman should not have to be what a man is. So when you call me what a man is, strong, the leader, the head, when they want to truly be soft and be like led by a strong man, they don't want to be seen as the strong person.
I have a question. What is a woman?
That's a
See, you thought I was being a jerk just then. No, seriously, because you said hold on, I got you, I'm coming. Because you said we see these things as what it is to be a man. I'm asking, what then is a woman?
A person born with female organs.
Good answer. You're doing better than Supreme Court justices out here.
That's all I got.
I mean, that's basically okay. Go ahead, Real B. Go ahead, LB.
I was just going to ask this question. Because TD Jakes mentioned femininity, right? And again, you may not have the answer to it, but I just wonder, right? Do females feel like their femininity is being stolen
by these men?
It's too many niggas in skinny jeans. So yeah.
You wait. You mean you mean to tell me like a man
when we put
like a man can't be a woman? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're implying?
When we put dudes in parasucos, they immediately took away from the femininity of women.
Dudes in parasucos? What?
Look at
oh my God. Yeah, it's not cool. I'm not with it. I'm not with that. But that's a good point. Because some men in some cases tend to be a little bit more feminine in their mannerisms and how they carry themselves and how they run their households, how they conduct business, etc. In their ways than some women. So going back to your point about that, I would assume, knowing that you're a man and knowing the caliber of man that you are, I would assume that you rule your house well, as like the Bible says you should, for example.
But a lot of guys now, they don't have an understanding of financial responsibility. They don't know what it. I mean, literally, like taking the trash out. No, like niggas think that Gucci belt means I'm the man. So you spent $300 on a belt, but you're living with your baby mother. Not
what are you doing?
You're not her name is on the lease, not yours. You're living with your baby mother, but you got a $300 Gucci belt. Like that's the new nigga. You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing?
Women have to be strong because they're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like I got bottle popping in the club money, but I ain't got rent money.
What? Why are you dealing with that?
Which that's a choice. Different conversation. That is a different conversation. But still, again, if we're men, the man should be better than that. Yes,
he should be.
Yes, the woman is dealing with it, but the man should be better than that.
Okay, but okay, good. My bad. Good. Rich, go ahead. I'll ask my question.
Here's what I was gonna say. It sounds to me like it sounds to me that there are actually roles out there, which we know, right? That there are roles out there. Society likes to say that, there are no roles. We can all do. There are no roles.
That's the problem.
Blah blah blah. Right. And come to find out, though, right? With you got some women feeling this way, and they don't want to be considered this and that, and so come to find out, there are roles. So, it's like these roles need to be taught in where is it being taught? It's not. So how do we fix the situation? It sounds like they're looking for answers. They're looking for a solution, I should say. They're looking for a solution. Well, it all goes back to these roles. It all goes back to these gender roles, not 78 gender roles, but the 2 gender roles.
Well, how can we redefine roles if we can't define women?
I do think those things are different because like your house is your house. So the role of Trey and Savannah is not the role of Rich and Jess.
No, but I'm not talking about when we get when we get to the who's going to do what in the house, that's specific and tailored to to that household. Yeah. I'm talking about specifically when you were saying that women, or some women, or most women, or there are a group of women out there who don't want to be considered strong for the struggle that they went through, and they want, don't want to be,
they want a soft life.
Say it again.
They want a soft life.
Right. So wouldn't that be considered, a role though? They don't want to take on. They don't want to be. They don't want to have that role as the strong life. They want to have that soft life. So when you say that is considered a general role?
No, I think it absolutely is a role. I think though that's a reasonable role.
But I think we can have so. How do you? It when it comes to your household, I think that's when you get down to the nitty gritty. But I think there is like a standard, right? I think there is a standard, and then when you get to the households, you can break it down to the nitty gritty of who's going to do what.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah. And that to this point about roles, this
Shout
is
out
our
Shani.
role.
What up, Shani?
What up, Shani?
Hey, sis.
Okay, so I want to go back to really quickly to this strength thing. Because LB, you brought up a good point. In the end, there was a time for at least 2 generations where you bet not call a black woman anything but strong because of what she had to go through and because of what she dealt with and because of all the things you just mentioned, absentee fatherism and gender wage gaps, not real by the way.
No, that depends. There's statistical data that shows a
statistically
difference
disproven many times over. It has.
And I'm in a place where the wage is just based on experience and not on, but in like corporate America, like the numbers didn't lie. And I've seen that data.
There haven't been.
It definitely exists. Trey, if you want to say that a woman has not been paid less than a man to do the same job at no point, you're wild.
Okay, so literally, Google just did a research piece on this, and it actually showed that women on average make 106% more than men when factoring in same position, same experience, same skills.
Since when?
I would, as I've said to you before, I would argue probably the better part of the last 40 or 50 years, if we're being honest. If we're being honest to stats and data.
That's not the same numbers that I'm saying. And I can't jump on it right now because I don't know where to go. But literally, as I've looked at, like structure, like women in the workplace have been paid less than men to do the same jobs.
For the same position, skills, and experience. Those things do matter. Same position, skills, experience, education, everything across the board.
Logically, it matters. Realistically, it has not happened like that.
It has to have had it been like that because if you can listen. It doesn't make smart business sense to hire. Listen. Hold on. Listen. It doesn't make smart business sense to hire more men that you have to pay more money to get the same job done. If you can hire women to do the same thing and get the same job done for less money, it doesn't make sense to hire men in the first place.
It doesn't make sense, but
that's assuming that people are operating under shit that makes sense. A man who's misogynistic and says, I don't give a fuck if she's a woman. So if I believe in my good old boy system, which we know exists in a number of places, I would still hire a man who's my friend to do that job, whether a woman could or not. And
that's different. That's nepotism.
I was getting ready to ask you, Trey. So does that mean you would hire all women?
It happened.
I would honestly. I would hire all women if I get this. Listen. If I could get the same job done for
wait. They're not machines, though. They're not machines. We're talking.
They're not machines.
People are not machines. So that means you would have to deal with the emotions and everything else that comes with hiring all women. So yes, logically, it makes sense. I'm looking at a study here on pay scale. It's a 2022 that says men are still paid higher than women, and it's for every $1, women get 82 cents.
based on what data?
And it's doing the same job with the same skills, with the same abilities. So there's still a gender gap. According to pay scale, there's still a gender gap.
Right,
but again, the question is, the question is, you're gonna hire all women who are not machines, who come with the same, who come with the emotions and the other things that come along with it. These are people. You're gonna hire all women just because you can pay them 82 cents and not have to pay the man $1.
What I'm saying is, I would hire more women than I would hire men if I can get the same job done for the same amount of money. I'm sorry, for less money. That doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for me to hire men. And as far as like emotion and stuff like that, who has a longer life expectancy, men or women?
Logically, that makes sense. Name me. We're gonna go into a whole nother topic when it comes to
life expectancy is not work though.
Why isn't it? Because if the life expectancy is a 20-year gap, I like the 20-year game plan on a 40-year-old woman over a 40-year-old man.
Well, that's assuming that the woman is going to stay working with all these other women,
or the man. Assuming the man is going to stay.
We just gonna argue ifs and fifths now. Is that what we're doing?
That's what it seems like you're doing.
Our entire show is based on ifs and fifths.
Is that what we're doing? Lots of fifths. That's for damn sure. Damn sure the show is based on fifths.
These are 1.75.
So you're actually assuming that's an if that you're gonna hire more men than women, and it. Well, okay.
More women than men. Listen. If I can get the same job done for less money, for 80 cents on the dollar. If I hire a woman versus if I hire a man, I'm going to hire more women than men, especially if we're so business people are so greedy and such. If I'm doing that, I promise you, I would be paying you less money. I'm sorry. I promise you, I want to get more accomplished for less money if I'm any smart businessman.
Trey, think I'm not knocking your approach. I think you're operating in what I would say is too good of faith, because like Maurice said, that's operating backwards. Cool. However, like I've sat in meetings. Women don't like women. So you're never, even though you can pay them less, you're never going to find a place where it's just cool to be all women all the time. Like women.
Whose fault is that? What? Women don't like women? Whose fault is that?
It's their fault, but I'm just saying. So for that reason, ain't no man about to just hire all women, even if it means less money. Because, and I'm talking about your typical misogynistic, like egotistical, authoritative man, like is not.
Oh, so like what? 1%? Are we talking about the extremes? The 1%? Really?
That 1%, just like we know, what our 10% controls what 90% of the wealth. So your 1% who's in control of jobs and hiring and positions, like that 1% is not saying to themselves, well, let me bring in women because I can pay them less. They still, good old boy system, want a man who they can make inappropriate jokes with at the water cooler and just be cool with that shit.
Well,
when you hire women, then you have to be sensitive to their feelings. You have to have sexual, what are those things? The
sexual harassment,
sexual harassment,
and all that.
You know what I'm saying, human resource training and all that. So like, good old boys are not trying to subscribe to that. They would prefer to make sex jokes at the water cooler and everybody find that hilarious.
But seriously though, who got a water cooler job? Like seriously.
No. But listen, the other comment that you posted that said women take more leave with kids, pregnancy, and family. That means if you hire more women than men, now you're also susceptible to the whole women taking leave with the kids and pregnancies.
Right.
Family
precisely my point. It actually costs more money to hire women. It actually, that's my point. It actually costs more to hire women.
That's not pay though. That's everything.
That is pay. What? If something costing me more is literally me paying for it.
If you have to bring somebody in to do someone else's job because she's out for like maternal leave, you're not paying her. You're paying someone else to do the job while she's out. So she's not receiving that money.
I'm not paying her for leave. I mean, I'm paying two people.
You're paying her normal pay, but she's not getting more because she's out on maternal leave. She's getting her normal pay,
but she's not producing anything, so I'm paying her to do nothing. I'm paying her to sit at home.
If she's acquired the leave,
like who are we to argue with her for using the leave that she rightfully earned? If you hire a person and say, I'm going to allow you to have leave for having a baby, I'm going to allow you to have personal leave for vacation, she's not wrong for taking it.
I never said she was. What I'm saying is that it would actually, in real life, it actually costs the company more to have more women on because you're still paying her regular pay minus her production. There is production that still has to happen at a job in order for the job to continue to earn money in order to pay that person. So I'm still paying you. Yeah, okay, you earned your leave, blah, blah, blah. But I'm still literally, your leave, I'm still paying you without your production. So literally, that is costing me money. So in real life, again, it actually costs companies more money to hire women because of things like that than it does to hire men.
Well, at the same time, I'm a dad and I want my time for my child as well.
I want to? Yeah, hell yeah.
I want my leave.
So
I want mine too.
So how different are we then? Because I like when
men only get 2 weeks of leave.
But in education,
which is trash.
But no, for me, in education,
bond with my child.
Once I discovered I had a child on the way, the first thing I did was learn how I could finesse the system. If we donate 3 days of leave to what they call a sick bank, we can take as much leave from the sick bank as we need, as long as we're donating every year. So after my 2 weeks of paternal leave, then I took my sick days and then I took from the sick bank. So a man can learn to use the system in the same way that a woman could. So they still had to find somebody to cover my classes and teach my content and do all the things while I was gone. And I exercised the same amount of days as a woman would. What's the difference?
The difference is you're a teacher, and how many males are teachers?
A ton. For what it's worth, a ton.
Percentage.
There are still more women. I'm not knocking that. Still more women in the workplace, but there are still a ton of men. And those men are like more often, I don't know any male teacher who does not have a kid. So he's taking off when his wife goes into labor, before his wife goes into labor, after the kid's born, when the kid gets sick. You know what I'm saying? Like we're leaving. Men show up.
Men show up. But so that contradicts your original point about men not showing up.
No, my men not. I've never said men don't show up for their kids. That was never my point.
Okay.
Yeah, we got here for the strength of women.
What I'm saying is, seriously, and again, what you find in, again, most data, this saying, like I'm saying right here, that this says women earn 83 cents for every dollar earned by men. All right. There's also a stat that says that black men earn more than black women. And the same article says that black men have higher education rates than black women. Again, both of the above we know to be untrue. Black women absolutely out-earn black men, and black women absolutely are more educated than black men in America here.
Because I would want to break that down by occupation, because what sectors do black women earn more than black men? In what occupations for working?
Retail, sales, human resources, non-physical jobs.
So, but then let's go to the upper echelon. So CEOs are black men? How many CEOs are black women? Of what companies? Are they Fortune 500s or are they small businesses? Like, because
there are examples of all the above. What are we saying?
I don't think that statement.
There's a girl who's a CEO whose first name is Pepsi. She's
But
a CEO of a multi-million-dollar Fortune 500 company. Her first name is Pepsi. So that even negates the whole, if you name your kid a silly-ass name and put that on a resume, they won't be able to move up. Her first name is Pepsi.
But we do know there are some instances. We do know that there are some instances where your application will absolutely get backburnered if it's got too many apostrophes in it. I'm just saying.
Of course there are some instances with that, but again, that's not the majority. That is still the minority.
But but it should be non-existent.
Why?
Because why? Like, why should my name?
You shouldn't judge somebody by their name.
Thank you.
You know, not solely off of that, but
because if like my name could be, you know what I'm saying, punch a cunt in the throat, and I still want you to see that I have 3 degrees, have worked in this particular like place for X amount of years, have brought the company from this amount of money to this amount of money. Like, my name should not matter. What does my work say about me?
Well, generally speaking, the more apostrophes you have in your name, the less your work probably says about you. And that is statistical data too.
That's a stereotype, because again, you don't name yourself. So
it's not a stereotype. No.
That's a stereotype. I don't name myself.
I have legitimately come across these resumes. I was a hiring manager too. Legitimately came across that. And some of those, because I had the same thought process as you. I'm not going to judge somebody because their mama or their daddy's a dumbass and named them something stupid like leather. Okay. I'm not going to judge somebody like that. So I'm going to look down the resume and I'm going to see what it says. And it usually said precisely what my stereotype would assume it said. And then, even then, to be honest, I still called them in and said, you know what? I'm going to judge this person by the content of their character, as opposed to the dumbass spelling or the wrong spelling, incorrect spelling of their name. In spite of that, I'm going to call them in anyway, and I'm going to interview them and talk to them and see what it's about. And overwhelmingly, it was exactly what I expected.
So my question, do you not think that would be different if the like hiring place were different? So you don't think that looks different at Google? You don't think that looks different at Amazon? You don't think that looks different at like Apple or Forbes or what? Like, you don't think that looks different regardless of the name?
As far as the pool that you're pulling from.
Pool of people, yeah.
So basically, it sounds like, right, you're getting applications from a pond of fishes that have been swimming in this pond that know and act and think a certain way, that name their kids. Oh, you named your kid what? Oh, I'm gonna one up you and put 2 dashes in there. So that's that Dashian.
I've seen it, so
I have too. And you know what? And I interviewed it. And you know what it was? Exactly what I thought it would be.
But Ladashia,
it sounds like it's not necessarily the name. It sounds like it's the pond in which, you know, that pool of that environment.
And
That's possible.
Ladashia was a track star. So I don't think Ladashia is meant to, you know, work at T-Mobile. I don't think Ladashia is meant to, you know what I'm saying, serve breadsticks at the Olive Garden. But she
might be, because as a track star, your career is probably over. You know, odds are you're not going to be able to work into 30.
I mean, fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough, but possible. And even after the work, there are endorsements and opportunities in, you know, speaking engagements, and like you could coach track, and like there are ways that you can go. I'm just saying, like, Ladashia should have tapped into her strengths And I know that's not the word of the hour.
Oh, you mean she should have tapped into the thing that's now offensive?
No. Tapped into the best attributes about you, not saying you have to be strong.
So, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean she doesn't have to be strong?
He's saying strong. Okay, all right.
He knows what I'm saying. He's being a dick right now, and that's.
I'm not. I'm seriously. Like,
because there's a definition, and then there's a definition that the culture is trying to, redefine. That's what it sounds like.
Words mean things, is all I'm saying. And being strong at no point in all of human history has been linked to something negative. Literally,
it has been, though.
It has not. What are we talking about?
We don't arrive to this place if being strong weren't connected to something negative. And here's the point that and this is statistical data. Black women who are giving birth to children, doctors, as they study, said Black women have a greater threshold of pain when it comes to giving birth. So you don't have to administer medicine as quickly or as much because Black women can handle pain better. That's a lie. But in medicine, that has existed for some time. So
because in medicine it's existed, I can't say that these women are strong.
I know. I'm saying that for the medicine would be the greatest place where you should consider that shit doesn't make sense. Like your tolerance for pain should not be based on your color, but they do that shit. So if they can do it in medicine, why would people not consider that your strength is a liability in any other facet of your life?
Because that doesn't make sense. Literally, your strength can't be a liability in your life. That doesn't make sense.
But they're doing it. Again, if you say a woman doesn't need an epidural, a Black woman doesn't need an epidural as quickly as a white woman because
that's silly. That's silly, but that's not the same. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing as saying that generally speaking that Black women are strong. That should be
a general statement that they made in medicine for women's lives on the operating table.
Okay, medicine is a practice. Medicine is a practice, which means that they can be wrong.
Life-saving practice.
Which means they can be wrong though, because it's a practice.
But
they're wrong about that.
But you can't play with people's lives, particularly a color of people. They didn't say all women; they said Black women have a greater threshold of pain. Not all women, Black women.
Again, I'm going to say
color of people.
But again, I'm just going to ask, how does, because that said it there, mean that whenever we say you're strong is a negative connotation?
I'm showing you a very specific point at a very crucial junction, where that shit doesn't make sense. If my life is on the line and your thought process is I can deal with this shit, what are we talking about?
Again, nobody with any logical sense would assume that if your life is on the line, that you're just strong.
So you're saying doctors and nurses and the studiers of medicine have no logical sense.
What I'm saying is that in spite of their logical sense, they can still be wrong.
That was a scapegoat. That was
but it's not just a scapegoat.
Negligence.
They rested on this laurel for tens and tens of years.
That doesn't make them not wrong. They were wrong. Or they are wrong.
But
I agree with you on that.
But so if you can acknowledge that, you can also say that shit will happen to people because wrong people make big decisions over people's lives.
All right, I can agree to that too. What I can agree to is that saying a Black woman is strong for insert reason here because I see her strength, that somehow that's insulting to her. That I won't submit to.
I think if my life is on the line and you're saying, "Oh, you're strong enough to handle it,"
but nobody's saying that. But nobody's saying that. But
That's
nobody,
what you're
literally nobody's saying
saying.
that.
She can handle it. She
No,
doesn't need.
no.
She doesn't need the medicine. She doesn't need the needle. She doesn't need the epidural because she can handle it. That's literally what they're saying.
You're arguing an extreme
It's
situation
not
in
extreme.
that
That's what
particular
happens to black
circumstance.
women at doctors' sides all the time.
We're
That's not
talking about
extreme.
that
That's a common
circumstance.
practice.
We're not talking about every time we say anytime a black woman is strong.
That's a common practice in the doctor's office that they say a black woman can handle whatever you do to her because she's a black woman. That's not an extreme. That's a common practice in a doctor's office.
So that has to do with you calling
some of that still happens
today.
today, though. Some of that still happens today, where when black women go into the doctor's office, they don't get the same amount of care because they'll say, "Oh, you're over exaggerating," or "Oh, you're
and that's wrong. We agree on that.
We definitely agree on that.
It's not extreme. It's common.
So I hear what you're saying, Kev. It's the negativity that is attached to or being attached to the wrongdoings of said others using strong as an excuse.
And so if that's common
in medicine,
I don't want to be associated with that.
It's common in medicine. It's not common.
But medicine is
else.
the biggest, it's the biggest aspect we have to do it. And matter of fact, I'm not even for men because we don't even go in annually. But women have to go in all the time for years and appointments and this. Their breast exams start way sooner than our prostate exams do. So women have to live in a doctor's office. Men don't. So if they're saying no matter what you come in for, you can handle that because you're a black woman, that's common practice.
In one subject matter
that
has nothing to do with anybody else saying that woman is strong.
It's not archery. It's the doctor's office. Every woman has to go in the doctor's office. Every woman doesn't want her gun license. They're not the same.
Right, it's not the same. It has because it has nothing to do when you say that you're.
It's worse. If I have no choice, hold on.
Listen. We can't keep this going if you keep cutting me off in the middle of what I was gonna say. I hear you. I heard you say what you gotta say. What I'm saying is that none of those things have anything to do with you when you say that a black woman is strong, because again, you don't recognize strength without there being resistance. The fact that there is resistance is what shows their strength. That is where the strength of women in general, but specifically we're talking about black women, that's where their strength lies. Is it right for somebody to exploit that strength? No, that's wrong. As two left feet. You should not exploit that strength and use that in medicine. If medical practices are like that, they are ass wrong for that. What I'm saying, however, is if you, me, or Rich is saying, man, listen, man, black women are some of the strongest people in the world, considering some of the things they got to deal with and all of that, that doesn't make sense for any of them to look at that as, oh, now we're being negative towards them. That doesn't make sense. We're trying actually to boost them up. We're trying to give them their props. That's what it is. And they are strong for what they're doing, as are black men for what we deal with, because for all the stuff that they deal with, we deal with a ton of shit too. Suicide rate is higher in men than it is in women. The gender wage gap statistically is not real, but we'll go into that later. We'll get into that at another time. Right? There is no right, no human right that men have that women do not. If there is, tell me what it is.
Am I making sense?
We just said, and you read it, and Rich read it, that the wage gap is 83 cents to the man's dollar. So it is disproportionate. Even if 17 cents doesn't seem like something to you, it's disproportionate. So we recognize that is a statistic that exists. But when we speak to the strength of whether it's a black woman or a black man or a woman or a man. Strength should not be connected to what you have to deal with. It's just what you can do. And I think those things are different. If I can bench press 220, I'm strong enough to do it because I've tried to do it, not because somebody is beating me and making me do it. So like, there's a difference between your strength and what you can do and your strength and what you have to do because of something that's happening to you.
Exactly.
So yeah, Kev said it. I don't even have to. All right. I mean, I think, yeah, because I was trying to jump in and Kev just said it. You know, they don't want to be celebrated just solely for that negativity or just that thing they had to go through because they had to do it. More so something they earned, you know, something they could show to prove, you know, themselves, or not even just prove, but prove to themselves, or just something of an accomplishment, like, you know.
And Shunny, to like the advocate for yourself. And again, I'm going back to the medicine practice. When my son was born, his mother was in no position to advocate for herself. If I were not there to be her advocate, she would not have had one. And those white doctors and nurses did what I was talking about, saying, oh, she's strong enough to handle whatever. Even if she can, does not mean she should have to. But to have to advocate for yourself in a position where people should be doing their jobs just because it's their job to do. You should not have to advocate for yourself in those scenarios. Like, and I feel for the people who don't have a person in their corner who can advocate for them. That's the single mother
get a doula.
Who goes into a doctor's office by herself. And when she goes into labor, they put a needle in her, they put her under, and they just do what they do. If she has to have a C-section, her life is in danger for every second that they're cutting her and they're putting that child out of her. If she does not have an advocate, she's under the influence. She cannot advocate for herself. So if their thought process is, this woman can handle it because she's black, they've disqualified her from every equal treatment to any other person who does not have the same skin color. They should not have to advocate for themselves in order to receive the same treatment that somebody of an outside race gets for doing the same thing.
Nobody's disagreeing with that, Kev.
But it like, I'm not even trying to be funny. It feels like it.
But it's not, though. Nobody's disagreeing with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. Nobody in the comments is disagreeing with that. We can both agree again that the medical practices, if they're telling people those types of things, and like as Tasha pointed out a little bit in here, nobody again is disagreeing with any of that. We all with you on that. What I'm saying is that in spite of that, it is silly for anybody to relate your strength to being something negative, because the opposite of strength is weakness. Now we have to censor ourselves from saying a black woman, or any woman for that matter, is strong, and that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But so I
think it has to do with being tied to the word. It sounds like it's almost like, you know, the N word or any, you know, it sounds like it's what's tied to it. You know?
So
I mean, logically, yes,
the N-word all the time. Like,
but I think
yes,
that's
logically it makes sense.
that, you know what I'm saying? In our community, the N-word is a term of endearment. It's a joke. It's whatever. When somebody outside of our community calls you that, it's offensive. It's tied to hatred and all of those things. Because, and again, personal experience. I've been a nigger, hard ER, to people who thought that just because I was a black man teaching their white children that I was less qualified even with a master's degree, than some white woman or some white man with a bachelor's degree who didn't have nearly the experience that I did. So being a hard ER in that environment makes me to them less than. So like for us, yes, I can, hey, my nigga, what's up? I love you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a term of endearment. But I don't want this nigger teaching my kids is a term of hatred. So like it is different based on the environment that you're in. So that's the, you know, what I keep coming back to. Like we can say somebody's strong and appreciate their strength and understand it's, you know, like it's just what comes with the territory. Like we're good in that regard. But there are environments that you have to go into, whether you like it or not, that view your strength as a means to put you through more things or make you endure more just because you are quote unquote strong. And that is wrong.
Nobody disputes that. Nobody's disputing that. What I'm disputing is that the overall has anything to do with something negative. That's what we kind of where we started out going with that, and that's where I was like, I don't understand. If we're talking about it again from that perspective of a medical personnel saying that you're strong enough to endure some bullshit. I think I'm not in agreement with that at all. And there was a traumatizing experience with your son. There was a traumatizing experience with my wife and our first child. You know what I mean? So I'm not disputing that. Wrong is still wrong, but also ridiculous is still ridiculous. So to equate you or me saying a black woman is strong, like how you censored yourself earlier from saying someone had strength or whatever, that's ridiculous because you're not coming at it from the perspective of I can put you through more. That's crazy.
But for me, why I said I don't subscribe to the term anymore is because I still, even though it was a positive thing for me when I said it, it was still connected to this is what you came out of after you had to deal with some bullshit. Like, so my female friends who's the father of their kids doesn't pay child support, doesn't see the kids, doesn't show up, can't put in $1 so that they can like do a copay at a doctor's appointment. Like, oh my God, you're strong. You're so strong because regardless of whatever happened, like it's still a negative connotation. So like, no,
but it's because you didn't give up, because there are parents who give up in those situations. I just saw an article this morning about a mom who dropped her 2 kids off at her sister's house and dipped off. And when she was presented in court, she just told the judge, I just don't want to have kids anymore. So there's that. And then there's the opposite of stepping up and owning your family, your kids that you made. So yeah, there is some strength in that because it's easy to quit. That's where the strength comes from.
I also think there's some difficulty in quitting. And I'm not
because strength comes from resistance.
But I'm saying, so for the woman who gave up her kids, which I'm not agreeing or disagreeing because, and this is the first I'm hearing with it, I'm saying if she dropped off her kids, who's to say that the life that she would have created by keeping them would not have been worse than dropping them off? So like, it's not, like it's always going to be some stuff with everything.
They're your kids.
They are. And that's true all day, every day. However, everybody ain't meant to be a parent. Even if they are your kids, everybody ain't meant to be a parent. Just because you create a child doesn't mean you know how to take care of one.
So for all the dads then that say, you know what, this is too much dealing with you and those kids, I'm out, because you'll probably have a better life with just you and your mama.
The least
is he right for doing that?
And again, speaking
until stepdad comes in.
Speaking from personal experience, as a person whose father never showed up, the least you could have done, even if you can't handle as a parent, send your money. Because the mother then has to like do everything still with one income. So she still has to find daycare if she's got to go to work with one income, whereas your money could help pay for a daycare bill. She's still got to put clothes on the kid and or kids with one income. So
this
the
mom that dropped her kids off at her sister's house was
but I'm
in
saying
court.
no, but I'm saying you said a father who says I'm out. So
the same thing she did.
But again, that's an option you have. You can take your baby to the firehouse right now and just leave the kid there. You can drop them at the hospital and leave them there, and then they will go through the system. But you relinquish everything. But if a father just says, "Nah, this ain't for me," but you still help create their life, the least you can do is give your money.
Pause. Wait. So the mom could just drop a baby off and say, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. Just drop them off and be free and clear and done with it. But the dad still has to send money.
I'm saying no, it's reverse. If the mom leaves, because there's scenarios where the mom leaves.
The mom leaves the father.
And the dad is left.
Mom should send her money. Even if you don't want to.
No. What I'm saying is, if mom is a single parent, mom decides to drop the kid off. Or let's say she's a widowed parent, right? Let's say dad didn't just roll out; he died, right?
He should have had a will. But that's and I'm not even trying to be funny. My will is
wouldn't that be the same though? If mom died and dad couldn't take care of the cat?
My will is done. My all of my investments have a person who receives the money after. So I'm taking at 36, I'm taking care of all of that. So even if they die, you should.
Let's say he died at 25 before he got a chance to set any of that shit up.
If you got a kid, you should have a will.
Oh, okay. Well, let's say he got a will, but he don't have shit to leave him. So big deal. What good does it do? What good does it do to have a will if you don't own anything? What good does it do to have a will if you don't own anything?
But then you don't have a will. If you have nothing to leave, you don't have a will.
So let's say he dies before he has an opportunity
even if I have $10,000 to leave, I'm leaving it in my will.
But if he don't got nothing, he ain't got no will, right?
And he was and I don't care. They say don't speak ill of the dead. Fuck that. He was a shitty fucking father because
what do you mean? Okay, wait, hold on.
You should have got life insurance. You should have. The minute you have a kid, you should have life insurance because if something happens to you, that kid still has to be taken care of. So I don't care if you're 21, 31, 41. You have something to leave your kid. And I have 3 policies that are 50 stacks apiece at 36 so that my son is taken care of. On top of my investments that I set aside, on top of my 401, everything is in his name. So you're asking the wrong person. I don't care how old you are. The minute you know you have a kid on the way, you should set them up to be okay when you're gone.
So with that said, let's say again.
I'm not going to say how much my policy is. My wife might take me out.
Right, that part. We'll have another conversation later about having 3 policies, but that's a whole other conversation. That said, again, so let's assume here that before he got to know any of those things, bro died.
What?
Before he got to do and set up any of that stuff.
But again,
or he was able to set up enough, and it was enough for a burial. It was enough to maybe do a little something. But you need a lot more.
Fair. I'm not arguing with that. That's fair.
Okay, but all right. Well, then let me finish my point. So then, if he has that scenario, right, and then the money runs out, because 150,000, especially in this economy, ain't that much money. That might last you a couple of years. So now the financial hardship has gotten too much. Now the mom decides to leave the baby somewhere at a hospital or whatever. Based on your scenario, she would then no longer be liable financially or what have you. She waives all her rights and all of that for this baby. Is that right? I just want to make sure I'm right. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Okay.
With the understanding that when you go through that avenue, the child then goes into the system.
Right.
Like as flawed as it is, the system is still designed to take care of the child, whether that's putting them into foster care or whatever, government benefits. And I have family members who have been in foster care. Like I have a foster care cousin who was adopted into my family and literally at the age of 21 was still receiving benefits from. So like there is stuff in place for kids who get placed into foster care, you know, get in the system. It's not the best, but there's still something in place to see for their care.
You know, the funny thing is, a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about the Roe versus Wade decision, we were talking about how there wasn't enough in place for kids after they're born.
I don't. Now that's a different.
I just find it funny. That's all.
I'm talking about like food stamps for a parent. Like there are programs. Some it's not enough. That doesn't mean a program doesn't exist, but in some instances there's not enough. But that's, you know, it's a case by case basis. Because even in foster care, it's not enough.
It's based on perspective and convenience case.
Yeah, but there's still something in place. If you're a parent who just abandons a kid and leaves them with the other parent, though, you're denying them care from your financial perspective, which is not. I don't think that's the same.
Go ahead, Rich.
Nah, I listen. I was trying to hear what you was trying to say all the way out, right? So I can do the other side of it, because it sounded like you were saying, you know, what if the mom leaves the kid at where's her responsibility and all of that, right?
So yeah, she gets to waive her responsibility.
Well, it's the same as if the dad was left and the mom died, and if the dad left it at, you know, either grandma's, because a lot of grandparents raising children, or the firehouse. It's the same either way. The parent, you know, who leaves the child, right? It's the same.
Does the dad get to waive his financial responsibility?
It's the same thing.
Does the dad get to waive their financial responsibility?
If they drop them off at the firehouse, does the firehouse go for child support? No. So that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. If they drop them off at the firehouse, I don't think the firehouse is going after the dad for child support. I think this is totally different.
They're not
from a surviving, you know, from a split parent. Both parents are alive, and whether the dad leaves or the mom leaves, you know, somebody's going on some child support, should go on some child support.
Somebody should, absolutely. And I'm saying it's a much higher probability the father's going to end up on it than it is if the mother's going to end up on it.
Is it because there's a high probability of the mother ending up with the child?
No, I'm saying again, everything I'm saying is same scenario, same order, same circumstances. I'm not doing the ifs and fifths part. I'm trying to stay away from that. Same scenario, same situation.
So ask the question again, because I'm missing it.
In the event that the father drops the kid off somewhere, is the father now okay to be absolved of his financial responsibility?
Firehouse or hospital, not side
either
of the
one.
road.
Either one. Pick one.
No, I'm saying those are the only two places, because I literally watched a video the other day. A woman got out the car at the side of the road, put her baby's car seat on the street next to the sidewalk. Didn't even make it to the sidewalk. She just put it on the street next to the sidewalk, got back in the car, and whoever drove her there, which he's a piece of shit too, they drove off. So the baby was just left there, and I think that was in Philly, and the baby was just left there in the street next to the sidewalk. So
pieces of shit, both of them.
Yeah, both of them, pieces of shit. Because how do you say, all right, I'm cool to take you to this point to drop your kid off? But again, if the father takes the kid to the firehouse or the hospital and leaves the child there to be immediately taken care of by people who are equipped to handle that, then they are absolved in the same way that a mother is. I'm not looking at them any differently. They did the same.
I mean, you're not. I'm asking if the law does.
I don't think the law does, because that's what they allow. They allow you to drop your kid at the firehouse or hospital, and in a nutshell, going about your business. Prom night dumpster baby.
I haven't heard of a child going into foster care and then the father still paying child support in foster care. But since we like to deal in statistics, and Yeah, Shawnee, big ups to you. Big ups to the grandmothers out there. Yeah.
Legit.
So
Facts.
here's a statistic. The single, and I think this is kind of the point Trey was alluding to. This one statistic over here says the single mother child support shows that 46.4% receive full child support, 24.9% receive partial child support, and 28% receive no child support at all. While the single father child support statistic shows that they receive 43.1%. So that's like 3 points less, right? 18.5 receive partial child support. So that's 10% less. And 38.4 receive no child support at all. So the numbers are definitely, when it comes to the scale, it's definitely not balanced. And that's what it sounds like, Trey's, alluding to that. It's just unbalanced. And I get it. It is unbalanced. It's exact same way with the pay structure. That's unbalanced. So I get what you're saying. I get what both of you guys are saying. We are going child support.
She's right, because I mean, as I was saying before, I'm not in any way disputing whether or not women get put on child support, because obviously there are some. I know some personally that are on child support. You know what I'm saying? I know some deadbeat ain't shit dads, and I certainly know some deadbeat ain't shit mothers. So for me, I'm all about empowering all the above. I'm about making sure that women in general are empowered, and are treated as equal and have equal opportunity, right? Not necessarily equal result, because equal opportunity and equal result are two different things, but equal opportunity for damn sure. And I'm fully in support of taking care of one's responsibility of having a kid or of having kids. I'm also fully in support of destroying the narrative that black women can handle more pain or whatever it is, physicality, in a negative, in medical field, in medicine, than white people, and as a result you can do less for them. I reject that narrative as well, 100%. So I just want to be clear. What I'm saying is that while yes, I get that's the case, to assign that feeling to all forms of women's strength is irresponsible and ridiculous. Yes, in that instance, it's wrong, and I decry that like everybody else. But to assign that to all the above is incorrect. I don't think that's right.
And so that part I'm not disagreeing with. I just like I said, I've seen it, so it's what I know.
I mean, I can argue the opposite. I've seen the opposite. I've seen absentee fathers, but I've seen them be absentee because of the mother, and the mother never actually comes clean on that. I've seen that happen too. So you know what I'm saying? So there's layers to all of it. I don't think there's any one blanket thing other than to be, responsible for what you made, right? But you've seen one side of it. I've seen the opposite side of it. Both are valid. And that's why I try to stick to everything still, all factors still being even, and logic over feelings, because facts don't care about your feelings. Oh, right. I don't know if I got that. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Oh, man. Good stuff, man. Woo!
Yeah, man.
That's 11 o'clock, baby. We've been on this bad boy.
Hey, man. We got some good stuff out, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that.
Hope y'all enjoyed that. Keeping it a buck.
Yeah, man. Because that's what we do, baby. That's what we do. Hey, look. So, look, to kind of put a wrapper on this real quick, I do want to put to one point. I want to get back to the Jake's video real quick. my bad. We get back to the Jake's video real quick, because I want to finish driving this point home, and then we can wrap this up. Give me that's the wrong screen. Sharing the wrong screen. We live, baby. All right. Let's back up just a little bit. Boom. Okay, there we go.
I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning.
Don't brag about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
He also said, creating a need, right? If there's no need in your life for me, then why am I here?
That's facts. It goes back to the, nature versus nurture and all that. Like, men, women need to be wanted. Men want to be needed. And that's just kind of what it is. The proof in women needing to be wanted is, in how they dress themselves up so that, they can be more desirable or be more desired or whatever it is in generally speaking. Right. So there's that. And then the men want to be needed. That's why, we learn how to fix things. That's why we learn how to cook. That's why we learn, other such skills so we can take care of our house and our home. Right. So to his point, if, you now have essentially conditioned me to think that I'm not needed, then you can't expect me to step up when I'm needed.
Man, I think Shunny had a comment a little while back saying that I went back to it. There it is. We don't need men for material things. We need them to feel protected, loved, cared for, etc. But then again, there is that need that needs to be filled, and if men don't feel like there is a need to feel, that if there's something, if they don't feel needed, then where's their place? And so I feel like that it goes back to what Kev was saying about the women feeling like they don't want to be considered strong because of what they went through, but they only went through this. I'm not going to say they only went through it, but I'm going to say I feel like there's a correlation there where, that's where the man for them could feel that specific need. They don't want to take on that specific role in that, household, whatever it is, right? Each one is different. It's a puzzle, and you find the one that fits you. You find, the one that has the right pieces to your puzzle. And I think that's what, they're looking for. Maybe it's getting back to, or I don't know, maybe that's what it is. You got to find the right pieces to your puzzle.
Go ahead, Kev.
I got nothing. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny. I got nothing.
I mean,
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, he said it. He said it. I guess the question I'll ask, and anybody else can answer this if you think, whatever you think. I think I've asked this of you guys or to you guys before. If we've conditioned, at least the last two generations of men, that we ain't shit, right? Women don't need us for nothing, not just material stuff. They don't need us for anything, for protection, for, guidance, for, direction, anything, right? They don't need us for anything. If we've been conditioned for 2 generations to not be needed for shit, how can we be expected to step up when we're needed?
But I think there's confusion there, because at the same
Yeah.
time that you hear you're not needed, you also hear that you should be paying for me and all of my 18 friends or something, or you pay all my bills, you pay my telephone bill, can you pay my rent, all of that, right? So there's confusion there, because in one breath, you want to you want to be able to do all those things, but at the same time you want a man to be able to or to do those things, but at the same time you don't need that. So I hear what you're saying as far as like a condition, but I think there's a lot of confusion there as well.
I think so. Let me get to this real quick. So creating a need needs to be defined. That's a good question right there, a good point right there. So what I would say is nature versus nurture, right? Men, generally speaking, are conditioned to provide, protect, was it provide, protect, prophesy, and preach, I think is, the 4 P's or something like that, right? But we'll take the spiritual part of it out and, provide, protect, and of course profess, right? Profess our love. If the role of provider, and provider can mean different things. It could be, providing direction in the home. It could be providing financially. It could be providing stability. It could be providing peace, or, additional peace or what have you. If those things are then taken and, you don't need me for anything. You don't need me for this, for this, for this, for this, for that. Then at a point, then yeah, you'll see, if y'all have seen those older guys that, they just kind of, go to the basement, retreat to the basement, sit down there and hang out all day. And yeah, she up there doing whatever it is she doing. They just sit in the basement and hang out and don't do anything. Oftentimes, what I've seen, oftentimes that usually happens with women that don't need their man to do anything, but yet constantly tell the man that they don't do anything. And I think that that's, to your point, that's confusing and somewhat contradictory. So either you need me to do stuff, Tasha, to your point, either you need stuff or you don't. If I offer to help you and I say, do you need help with something? And I can try to look and try to see what areas I can jump in, but I can tell you, dealing with my wife for sure, sometimes if I step in, I don't know where her mind is going with stuff. So sometimes if I step in, it just offset what she was trying to accomplish, and that's counterproductive. So I think when it comes to creating need, you can't make your man feel like he's not needed, because men want to be needed. Just like we can't make you feel like you're not wanted, like we don't care about you, like you're not, we could just go out here and get any other chick, because women want to be needed. You know what I'm saying? Generally speaking, right? Exceptions to the rule here and there, but generally speaking, that's how it goes. Go ahead, Kev.
No arguments here.
Word.
Yep. I think we can put this one to bed.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. All right, cool, man. That's done. We went in on that one, man. Kev, I love you, bro.
I love you too.
Real talk.
and I don't, for anybody who's joining us for the first time, this is us all.
Yeah.
Like
we letting y'all listen in.
And
yeah,
for what it's worth, like this is the way life should look. Like we're allowed to disagree with each other. We're allowed to think differently, and we're still allowed to love each other at the end of the day, be there for each other,
and Trey didn't cancel Kev, and Kev didn't cancel Trey.
So like these are the norm for us.
I appreciate, for those that know me, I appreciate conversations like this where it's not an echo chamber. I appreciate when somebody disagrees with whatever I'm saying. Because honestly, that's what I learned. And sometimes it makes me go research some stuff, right? Makes me dig a little bit deeper. I don't want everybody to agree with me. When I first started dating my wife, one of the first things I told her, I think I said this a couple episodes ago. One of the first things I told her was, no, stand your ground. Like I don't need a pet. I don't need you to agree with everything I'm saying. Stand your ground. Speak your piece. We can agree to disagree. I could be wrong. You could be wrong. We both could be wrong, but we won't know if we don't talk about it. So that's for everybody, man. That's, again, that's my brother right there, man. The discussions get spirited sometimes, but that's, because we're both passionate about our shit. And for real, we're passionate about the ladies. We're passionate about our women. We're passionate about our kids. So, we provide and protect for ours.
See it. And alcohol is a hell of a drug.
And alcohol is a hell of a drug. All right, man. Last thing to close us out, man. We got to. So this is the story I'm hearing. Apparently, with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, there has been a sect of women who have decided to go on strike. Sex strike. So they've decided that they are not going to specifically have heterosexual sex.
Oh, that's gay.
Because it is. Because quite literally it is.
Oh man,
that's actually.
I was looking for the logic down there. If you was wondering, I was looking. Okay.
Yeah. So, I was gonna say while I look for the clip, what's your thought on that?
We need to pour another drink. That's
not sober enough to deal with that one.
What?
Well.
What?
I'm gonna go ahead and pour mine.
Quick,
are they even good? Never mind.
We're not doing this. What the hell?
Okay. All right. I think I found it.
How long?
Back this up real quick.
You think
I have a few thoughts on this, but it's all good. Are our drinks poured? Are we ready for this one?
Yep.
We're talking about a sex strike, ladies and gentlemen. We're closing it out. Here we go. So I once heard a rant like this a little while back. I didn't really take it seriously, but this is let's just get into it, man. Sex strike.
I'm not
Let's
doing
see what they're saying about it.
I'm not doing this.
That's effective at all?
I don't think so, because not enough people are gonna do it.
I don't think that anybody's gonna go on strike against sex because it feels so good, and it's also a business. Everybody's always gonna want to have sex.
Sex strike?
A sex strike.
I guess that's great for women who can choose not to have sex. I'm not sure if it's going to change much.
What if we use our most powerful protesting option and withhold sex from penises until this is made right?
I'm sorry.
Penises.
You know what? Let me see this one real quick.
I think that's a horrible idea, and that's not an effective way to handle abortion at all.
She wants penis.
You know the difference between this woman and this woman?
I got a lot of differences, but go ahead.
But let's look. Look at that. There's this woman.
How superficial am I allowed to be? Is it?
Okay.
I mean, we can
That's
all.
okay. That's okay. I'll get us canceled. I'll say it.
We can all state the obvious. I mean, one's physically with a man and the other's not. I mean, that's the obvious.
One's attractive and one is not.
Thank you.
One looks like she would fist you.
Not an effective way to handle abortion at all.
I don't think that'd be
My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, one looks like she would fist fight you, and the other looks like she would double fist you. I'm just,
Call it what it is, yo.
All
what it is.
Spade is spade.
Use your hands.
Seriously, the biggest difference is, to me, is that, excuse me, as the other black lady said, one has the option to, not have sex because probably nobody is choosing them as an option. And then the other one probably has people wanting to choose them as an option. Okay. All right. That's you're right.
One of them, somebody's trying to shoot the club up. The other one, somebody's regretting them after the club.
Facts. Y'all remember Dave Chappelle did one? I think he was talking about, chicks getting graped. I'm gonna say graped. Chicks getting graped, and they was like, "Oh my God, women get graped at such a." That's an astronomical level. And he was like, yeah, but not you, bitch. That's, I'm not saying that it can't happen to anybody, but what I'm saying is that there is, let's go back to the evidence here. There's a distinct difference. I'm just saying. Okay. All right.
She looks very militant.
She does. She does. She looks like she's angry at the, dick she's not getting.
An effective way to handle abortion at all.
I don't think that'd be effective. I think it's going to be more aggressive than necessary. I think it's going to be a little bit backwards.
And the sex strike protest probably won't work.
I mean, I'd be willing to give it a shot if.
Sinead O'Connor seems like she's down for the cause.
It would.
Is that a good or effective approach?
I would say I agree with it.
Really? Notice she agrees with it while she's currently with a man. Okay.
Now, do you agree with it?
I don't really understand what a sex strike is, to be honest.
A sex strike is where the girl would not have sex with you.
He's probably drunk.
Because I feel like that's pretty
I think it varies person by person, but yeah, that's a tough one.
I noticed he got very sober after that explanation.
Not surprising.
Women in the world have.
It's not surprising because he's gonna go back and clap cheeks.
She said he's dumb is what she did.
Hey man, I bet he's still gonna go back and clap cheeks though.
I mean, probably, but he's
I'm
also
saying.
a little dumb. Just a smidge of dumb.
Speaking of dumb,
Conducted sex strikes in history. We have more power than we think we have, and some of it could be right in the bedroom.
I think that women have the right to do with their bodies whatever they want to do. And so I support people in this movement.
I think a sex strike is the way to go to awaken people's attention.
I don't really have a comment on that.
So you would be prepared to have your girlfriend or significant other go on a strike until abortion is legal nationally. See, I don't got.
all right. Before he says what he's about to say, there is a high probability that neither one of these two have an option tonight. I'm just saying there is a high probability that neither one of them have an option. And I'm
between the shirts and the hair.
Listen.
There's so many things.
No. I'm not gonna
All
say
right.
it. I got nothing.
Okay.
Say it.
got no girl.
Now go ahead, LB. Say it, man.
Between the
We
shirt,
getting canceled anyway.
You already played it. He said it. I think he
You
just
don't
said
have a
it.
girl?
I ain't
Did he?
got no girl.
the shirts and the hair.
See, I don't got no girlfriend, so I can't really say that. But I mean, again, if they want to do that, they want to live their life. I love them, I'm gonna support them. Like,
You'd be willing to embrace celibacy.
yeah, bro. Like, cause I ain't gonna lie. Like,
How long? See, I don't know.
I don't disagree with the role.
So notice the other guy was like, "Hey, hold on. I'm not a lifelong virgin. I'm probably he probably has an option.
Ooh.
Somebody's probably texting his phone. Somebody. Okay. All right.
I don't know.
I don't disagree with the Roe v. Wade thing. You need to make a good decision on who you're going to have a child with, period. Like 60% of the who's not our race are suffering from the abortion. We need to make better decisions. Our women need to make better decisions of who they're having children with.
Well, okay.
Your reaction to this sex strike idea? You think that's effective?
I think it can be. It's never really, but at the same time, are women really going to do that?
Women been on strike. They've been on strike. Most guys are not with anybody.
Y'all heard that, right?
He said it.
I mean, what's the difference? What's that going to hurt us?
Laura.
Okay.
No, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Thank you, black man. Listen, most dudes, most men ain't got no option tonight or tomorrow or this weekend. Most. Right? In real life, I don't think it would hurt for two reasons. One, because most men don't have an option anyway, if we're being real. And then two, there's a lot of women that disagree with that. The more attractive ones that have options in general, are probably going to disagree with that. So I don't think it's an effective strategy at all. Your thoughts?
Rich.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing. I don't see how I don't see how this is gonna pressure the Supreme Court to reverse what they did, or I don't see how this is. Yeah, I got nothing for it. It did.
It's wild out here in these streets.
I mean, and if we're being real about it, I mean, I would think these days, more women are, more they're more sexualized than men. Like, so who's it really hurting?
Just saying.
Everybody.
Just saying. Blue balls does hurt though.
I was gonna say everybody.
Blue balls, real talk. Blue balls hurts. Blue balls hurts.
Let's not play with it. Everybody.
Okay.
It's not.
But what I'm saying is, if we already go in with the understanding that they're on strike, then the odds are the blue balls will, And if not, there's always, the ones that won't go on strike. So, hey man, I think it's weird. I think it's wild. Look, man. I think the guy at the end said it. Let's be more responsible, yo. And ultimately, if you're more responsible with it, you got less to worry about. It doesn't matter what state you're in. Doesn't matter where you are. Odds are, if you're more responsible, you got less to worry about. And that is all I got to say about that. I think we done. I think we done. Boom. Done, man. You did it. Kev, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all the energy you brought through. I know you had a rough day, man, but I appreciate you. Everybody was vibing with you in the comments here, man. So, hey, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, seriously, dog. Thanks for jumping on. I know it's been tough, but we appreciate you being here. Seriously, dog.
Yeah.
Real.
I'll take the healthy distraction, So
big facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And hopefully, if nothing else, that's what we provided to y'all today is a healthy distraction and a strong introduction into your weekend. So, look, man. Hope y'all have a good night. Hope y'all have a good
Thank
weekend.
y'all for being on here. Thank y'all in the comments. Join us next week.
Like, subscribe, share. Pull up on us.
Gracie's
Let
Corner.
your friends know. We out of here, man. We love y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.